Hi everyone, this is Rion Paper. A while ago I told you about the first 6 months in my planners and journals and the things that worked really well for me and the things that I figured out over time didn't really work as well as I hoped they would. And in that video I expressed my desire to try out a couple of different layouts or different planners to get a better feel for how they could work with what I have in mind for my system, sort of as a trial phase, a trial run for a potential 2025 system. It is my absolute dream to find a system that will work the way I want it to for an entire year. But I also believe that if it doesn't really work for you anymore, then there's not really any harm in changing midway through the year. I mean, you do want to give it a good try, but I mean, if after 6 months you say this doesn't really work anymore, then why not change things up a bit? So I decided that I really want to try a takeanote planner and a paper test designs planner, but both of them, at least the 2024 dated versions, are really, really hard to find because obviously 6 months of 2024 have already passed. The paper test designs planner, I was not able to find the full year version, which is the B6 dated version, but she has come out with a A5 undated version that I have ordered and that should arrive somewhere in the next couple of days. And when that has arrived, I can take you through like what my entire system will look like for the rest of the year. But for now, I want to focus on this one because I did manage to find a Takeanote Planner 2024. And that is all thanks to a wonderful viewer, Christy. Thank you so much for getting in touch after my last video and for selling me this wonderful Takeanote planner. It is in absolute pristine condition. It came with the box, it came with everything, and it got here so fast, and I'm so happy with it. So thank you so much, Christy. It even came with this cover, which I believe it doesn't. There's cat hair on there. That's not Christy's cat hair. That's my cat's. Sorry. The planner doesn't come with the cover, I believe, but it's one of the things that they release and that you can buy separately. And it came with the cover, and I will probably put this back on after the video, but I just took it off to reduce some of the glare when the light hits the plasticky material. And I think I'm going to keep it in the clear cover and decorate the cover a bit. But I find that always a bit scary. So I decided let's just not do that right now. And let's get into the planner first. And then I'll see down the road whether I decorate and what I decorate with. It's just, it's a tough choice. If you're a perfectionist like me, which, yeah, we'll talk about that at some point. So one of the things that the core of my system for the past 6 months have been these two planners. And one of the main things that I noticed was that I was struggling with how the space in this planner was divided. For some things, I would feel like I don't have enough space, and for others, I had too much space. And I think that by changing things up a little, I can really solve that sort of issue for me. And another thing that I noticed was that I was doing sort of memory keeping, logging, tracking, journaling, and planning, which are like in my head, those are the two like main pillars of a good planner and journal system. Is sort of the planning that looks forward and the tracking, journaling, logging that sort of looks backward. And I was doing those things sort of in two planners, just wherever I found a spread or like a segment of a page that worked for that specific thing that I wanted to track or plan, I would just put that there. But that means that these two planners do not really have distinct functions. At least that's sort of how it grew to be. And I think that this takeanote planner specifically will be perfect for the journaling, tracking, logging, memory keeping part of my system. So I haven't really done much in this yet because I want to start it next Monday, which is the 1st of July, the first day of the second half of the year. That feels like the second most perfect day to start a new planner. If it's not on the first day of the year, then that would be the 1st of July. And I'm really glad that that's on a Monday as well. So all is well in Plannerland. For this page, I have come up with something just like fun to do, because I was thinking this is good for a habit tracker. But then the same goes for these, like this sort of yearly index page. And this one would give me 11 like things that I can track, whereas this one only gives 2. So I figured I'm going to use this for something else. And what I came up with is sort of logging the ink that I've been using in my fountain pen for that specific day. I plan on journaling in this book with fountain pen, and I'm just going to color in these boxes. Maybe one I will color in entirely, and for the other I will just do a couple of lines just to track sort of what color I've been writing with. Obviously, there's no room in these tiny boxes to write down like a brand or an ink name, but I can just color it in and it'll give me a fun overview of the colors that I've used that year. It'll probably be a very like way too colorful image at the end of the year, but I think that's kind of fun actually. And then on this page, I'm going to be doing my habit tracking. And if that sounds familiar, that's because that was one of the things that I really enjoyed in my common planner and that I will be taking with me. So for the first quarter, this is what my common planner like overview looked like. That's the habit trackers on the right and my sleep and focus time trackers on the left. The habit trackers, I'm just going to copy exactly to these pages. I will probably backfill these as well, just because I think it'll look really satisfying. And I will probably do a tiny bit of decoration down at the bottom. I have to figure out how much space exactly I have left once I like fill in the titles of my habits. And then I'm just gonna like color in the boxes just like I did here. For the graph for my sleep time and like focus time, I'm gonna do that on the monthly calendar, and I'm gonna do that per week, because one of the things that I notice here is that in order to sort of interpret my focus time and sleep, in order to like see any patterns or draw any conclusions, it would really help me if I could easily see like where the week starts and where the week ends. So I figured if I just do small like 7-day graphs, like in the sidebar, like just like directly next to the week, that'll make it much easier to see, like for example, do I always get more sleep on the weekends, or which I probably do, and how is my focus time, like especially from Monday to Friday, like what kind of pattern do I see? So that'll be interesting to do. And I think it would be very interesting to pair that with my mood tracking. That is one of the things I currently do in this planner. And I color in a box, like depending on which mood was prevalent for the day. And then I write a small note that kind of explains why I was feeling that way. And that is something that I'm also going to transfer to the Takeanote planner. So this one will get the mood tracking, the sleep, the focus time, which is sort of productivity, but like it can also be, it's just like time that I'm doing like non-interrupted focused work, on hobbies or anything really. So that is what I'm going to do on these pages. There will probably be no decoration because it'll be already very colorful and very full. And one thing I'm thinking of adding is the weather, just like in this small like top row of the like the sort of the header row of the days. That is something that I can very easily backfill just by using like the Weather Institute website, which like I just found out today. I was today years old when I found out that they keep like a log, and they've done so for like 70 or 80 years, or maybe even more, that you can just like download and you can just look at it for like all of the weather information that you could ever wish for. Really cool, really cool. I'm kind of I would say this is a big tangent. I'm so sorry. I would say that I don't really like numbers, but I do kind of like data and like graphs and stuff like that. I'm just not really good at maths, basically. But as long as I don't have to like count things or do difficult things with the numbers, and I can just look at them and like see pretty graphs, that makes me happy. So I might do that because I feel like the weather, especially like the temperature, if it's like, for example, right now it is scorching hot, it is so humid, and I am extremely tired. And I feel like those things really impact my mood. I function best at a temperature like around 15 to 20 degrees Celsius with like a slightly sunny, maybe like overcast kind of weather. I always joke that I function best when there is no weather, because that's sort of what that area of the weather looks like. And that is just like, it can definitely be like too cold and too miserable, but like for me, it is usually if the weather is impacting my mood, it is because it is too hot and I just feel sort of trapped in the house. But like you don't really want to go outside because it's even worse once you like open the door. So you just sort of sit here in the dark. We don't have any air conditioning or like climate control kind of things. So it's just like hot and humid. Yeah, so sorry about my rant about the weather. So I'm thinking about adding that as well, seeing if that impacts my mood. Shouldn't be too much work actually to do that. And I might just do it for a month. If I feel like it's too much work and I don't really care, I can just stop adding it. Otherwise I would just leave those top rows just open, so no big deal. And then the rest of the planner consists of a column on the left side of the page that has 7 days of the week, sort of the horizontal layout that you'd see on the left-hand side page of like a Hobonichi weeks. And it's also what this common planner and one has. It has the days of the week with a horizontal layout. And what I'm going to do here is track my media. And that is also something that I had been doing in this common planner. But right now I have way too much space for that. And I think that this would be much better. It's like it's a smaller column, and I can just write down like episodes of shows I've watched, films, books, but also like music that I listen to. I can just add that here, and that'll be fun to look back on. And then I have a column for every day of the week. So 1 week is like 4 pages, 2 double page spreads. And that is where I'll be doing my journaling. I've learned that I definitely do not need an entire A5 page, but I can definitely fill up half a page, especially if I also add decoration, which means that like for some days, I'll give you an example because I've already decorated for next week. For example, this Monday, I just need to write, what's that? Like 1/3 of a page, I guess. And that is very, very doable. Then on the Tuesday, I can write for like an entire half of a page. And then that is sort of the room that I want to fill with my thoughts, my writing over the course of 1 week. And I feel like that will be very doable and a lot less daunting than the ginormous A5 pages that my common planner gives me. And then this planner will have no planning, which sounds a bit counterintuitive for planner, but that is what I will do in the Paper Test Designs planner, which has a very, very interesting layout. Something that I'm very excited to start playing with and trying out. I feel like that has the perfect balance between structure and sort of things that are already set up and the freedom that like the common planner gives you. I think that Paper Test Designs has struck a really nice balance there. And I'm very excited for that to arrive and start playing with it and to show you how that works and how that will look in my system. So I will definitely give you an update on that. I'll have to see, I have a couple videos scheduled, so I'll have to see when there's like an open spot left for like a complete journal and planner update, like a system update. But I feel like it'll be more interesting anyways if I have some more data to go off, if I have some more things filled in, some more things that I can actually show you. But I'm so excited about this planner that I just really, really wanted to film this video and show you the takeanote planner. And I have definitely been sleeping on this brand. I have seen it a lot this year. And I feel like it's a really, really well designed planner. It has Tomorrow River paper, which is a very important factor for me. I love using Tomorrow River paper. This one has the 68 GSM, which is a bit thicker than a lot of the other planners, which is because it has a little less pages. But yeah, that's interesting to see how that works. If it will give me a little bit less ghosting, I hope so. That would be nice. And it definitely still feels like very thin, which I really enjoy. I don't really like thick, almost cardstocky paper. And the binding is so nice. I love this exposed binding and it lays flat perfectly. It's a really, really beautiful product. The only thing I maybe don't like as much is the color of the front. But the color of the foiling is so good. It's like this coppery bronze foiling. It looks so good. That's beautiful. I would definitely take all of my foiling on products in this color. I am not really a big fan of gold foiling. Silver can be nice, but this looks so nice. Yeah, I think, sorry. I am so not focused today. I'm just going to blame the weather and the fact that my brain is slowly melting. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. I hope you look forward to an update. If you have used or if you are using a takeanote planner, yeah, let me know if you have any sort of pro tips or things that you've really enjoyed like using in a specific way. I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, thank you for watching and I hope you have a great day. Bye.